morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva. Viva. Good morning. I was so hopeful. I thought, oh, this is great. Facebook we're going and we're moving and we're grooving. And then right at the end, it says did not connect. So we are connected now, however. I looks like I fixed it. Yes, we are there. So good morning, everyone. Good morning on YouTube. Good morning on Facebook. We are so happy that you are here. Gladiator Guru cut off her camera, but the mic also needed to be cut off. So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the Badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. I am coming to you from a chilly Eastern Tennessee. However, during the day temperatures have been absolutely incredible. I cannot believe it's February because it has been like, I would say late March, early April weather for the Northeast. So I was outside quite a bit yesterday, enjoying it. So welcome, and welcome to the month of love. February is the love month here at Viva. And look at how beautiful we both look. I'm loving you just look, you always top me no matter what. You will always be this guru dress. You're on mute. No, wrong one.
I figured this out. It's been a rush morning since I've been up. Good morning, but a beautiful morning. I thought, buenos días, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. It is Thursday already. When time is slow, we complain, just like when the weather is too hot or too cold. Oh, this week is dragging on and blah, blah. And then the Badass Buddha and I had a Viva conversation on Monday, and we're already on Thursday. And it's like, where did the time go?
I know.
It's a couple days, but they're 24 hours in each of those days. And it's like, so I woke up this morning and I'm like, and I'm doing a couple things outside of me. And I'm saying, I love this, the participation. And then I'm like, did I introduce the best of me to myself this week? Like, did I even dare to write down what I wanted to do? So it's like, that's how quick the time is going. So this is the month of love. And unfortunately, it is the shortest month of the year. Every year, whether it has the extra day or not. So let's make it matter. Let's feed it all of our positive energy so that it can boomerang back with results in this month of love, as the Badass Buddhas in love would say, in the month of love.
And I love your picture. I see your beautiful painting behind you, so strategically placed.
It is because several people's like, why are you showing your air fryer? And I said, because of the natural light coming in. It's the only way I can set the.
Why am I showing because I'm trying to advertise. It's just like if you had your George Foreman grill up there, you're just trying to sell a few grills for George.
And I'm like, what can cover? And then I'm like, oh, the painting I just made, because I think it's just marvelous.
It's just marvelous, darling. Absolutely.
I think it is.
Red. She's wearing red, so it's perfect.
I think her sitting by the bamboo tree with the garden behind her, and she's just sitting there with her matching espadrilles on the grass. Also lovely. And but yeah, so I got several. And I'm like, what the heck? It's an oven. I didn't even notice it. But anywho.
Good morning, Kathy. Kathy was the first one on this morning on YouTube. So good morning, Kathy. Good morning, Nita. Cabeza Vasquez. I have to say it. I have to practice. And Priscilla, my friend Priscilla.
I love that name, Priscilla.
I love Priscilla. Priscilla's
I just love the way it rolls off the tongue. I have a cousin named Priscilla. We call her Scylla, though. But it's Scylla. I love it.
Silly Scylla. No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit Priscilla. I have to say her whole name. Priscilla. because she's just fabulous. And it was funny because I thanked her the other day when she came on, and this is how sweet. I just love my friends. I thanked her for coming on, and I said, it was really nice having, most of the people that come on are your people. I mean, I know it's the tribe, but what I'm saying is that they know you, and I love when I see people that know me come on, and Priscilla's so cute because she now, I think she took that as like, oh my God, I have pressure now. So she's going to make sure that she gets on. And then I had overheard from our other mutual friend that she was saying, did you go on? Did you go on to the show, to our friend? So Priscilla, thank you. I appreciate that. Fly the Friendly Skies with Priscilla. She's a airline. Oh my God, can I think of the name? They don't call them stewardesses.
She's a stewardess?
Flight attendant. I would love to be on a flight with Priscilla. I would love to. She would be such a joy to be on a flight with. Anyway, all right. So good morning,
Priscilla. We love you,
everybody. Like, share, follow, subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. We've been doing really well with our morning. We've been hitting about. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but for us, it's great. We've been hitting like 20 views, or 20 people on at one time. Which again, I mean, that's nothing to other people, but means a lot to us, considering there's been times where we've had like 4, we've had sustaining 4, and hey, 4 is 4, and we love our tribe.
Remember, we've had these conversations in the past where it would get in people's ear that if you didn't have X amount of viewers, then you wasn't doing good. But if you log on here and you pay this or join this, and we'll teach you how. And everybody was jumping on that wagon. And I was always like, who gives a fuck? We go on every day that we say we're going to go on, at the time we said we're going to go on. And if you build it, people will come. And so even though I believe 1 out of 10 that I can reach, it's the $1 million jackpot, because it was that one that needed to hear the message. Right?
Only takes the one.
So I always, what the badass Buddha is saying is really, really true. It's like, we used to have a lot, and then after the pandemic, it kind of slowed down because people had to gradually remember what it was to go back to a life that they probably hated before the pandemic, maybe missed a little because of fear during the pandemic, and then came back to it and be like, what the fuck have I been living? So, and then they're back. And that's just how, things are sewn into the tapestries of our lives. But it's up to us to say, let me review my patterns. And I think that beginning your day with the badass Buddha and the gladiator guru, it's food for your soul. So share it. Pass it on.
Yeah.
Bring us into the lives of others. Bring others into our lives, because that's how we become just more enriched in the fabric of linens and cottons, which is all we should wear. So yes.
Linens.
Oh, Bernie's on.
Oh, see? Oh, that's what I was talking about. Priscilla must have said something. I love you guys. Good morning, Bernie. I love you guys. I really do. I want to, I'm very excited about this month. I think that when you want something to come towards you, I've just decided that I've spent too many times being miserable or unhappy or sad or upset or angry. And for what purpose? I mean, I'm going to always have my moments, but really for what purpose? There's so much gratitude to be had, and love. If you want love to come in your life in any way, shape, or form, you have to, just like anything, you have to be willing to receive it and be open, clear your arms and open them up to be able to hold it. Because if your arms are filled with all this other crap, and then you have no room to catch that, So this is for this month, especially, I am really pushing. I know Gladiator Guru was teasing me a little bit, but I know she wasn't really teasing me, but she was talking about how I really love this month. Like that I really love what we're talking about this month. And it's true, because I'm thinking in terms of just friends, family, special people in your life, people that even that you may not even know very well, but there's still this love, but then the greatest love of all, thank you, Whitney Houston, right, is the one for yourself. And that's where it starts, because if you truly don't love yourself, it's really, really challenging to love other people. We're going to talk about, next week is great. So please listen, be here this whole month. You get to see us wearing red. You get to see us being bold. But we're going to be talking about love in so many aspects. But next week is going to be, Tuesday and Thursday are going to be all about the love languages. We're going to be talking about our own love language, discovering that. And then we're going to be talking about what it means to love other people based on their love languages. And then the last full week is going to be on conditional love. Is it the last? Well, the last full week of February is conditional and unconditional, both days, Tuesday and Thursday. And then the last Tuesday for February, well, it's not the last full month of February, but the last Tuesday we're going to be talking about love, passion, and life. And then on that Thursday, we're going to be using that to catapult into, we're going to use that to catapult into March, and we're going to call it Leap to Your Purpose. And that's when we're going to discuss The Alchemist. So for those of you that have not picked up that book yet, please do so. It's not a hard read. You could literally read The Alchemist in one weekend, truly. It does not take long. It's not a big book, but it is so powerful. And I've already read it for this month. I'm actually going to read it again. And I gave it to my 20-year-old daughter. And I said to her, you're really going to like this book. Please read it. And she's one of those people that you give it to her and she just keeps putting it off. Finally, I said to her, I'm like, did you start reading it yet? And she's like, no, but I'm going to read it tonight. This was like a couple of days ago. And she says to me yesterday, I started reading the book. I'm almost finished. I said, and she goes, I love it. And for my daughter to say that, it made me feel good. I knew she would, but you know how 20-year-olds are, they, whatever. So please pick up that book if you have not picked up The Alchemist already. And really, because we want to share that with you on February 29th. Leap year, we are here, leap year day, okay? So we want to be talking about Leap to Your Purpose, and we're going to be talking about The Alchemist and the lessons behind it, which is so key. So I do want to shout out to Gail. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Lynn Lowe. We really appreciate you being here. Gladiator Guru is switching her area, so she's going to be on in a moment. So we'd like for you to share. We were discussing Tuesday, and as we've been discussing, tell us, for those of you that are new, first off, we would love for you to like, share, follow, subscribe. If you could share this with anybody that you know in your group, especially my peeps, post it on your Facebook page that this is on live, and hopefully we'll get some new people. But we want you to define what you believe love to be for you. What does that mean to you? What is love in general, the definition, and then what is self-love? Because we started to talk about your first love on Tuesday. We talked about your first love, which is self-love at any age, centered self. So we talked about you loving yourself. That's the first love that you should ever have in your life, because then it will allow you to love other people. It will allow you to love your children better. It will allow you to love your significant other better. It will allow you to love your parents, your siblings, your cousins, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and even the people who are not really a part of your life, that maybe you can't be around them because their personalities clash with yours, or they may be toxic. I don't like to use that word all the time because it's overused. But loving yourself allows you to have compassion for those other individuals as well. And you can love them from afar. You could send them goodwill, or you could be okay to be, non-attached, to where you say, you know what, I wish them the best, but I'm here, they're there, and that's it. And I hope that they love themselves, and I'm going to love myself, and I'm not going to worry about that. But the greatest love is truly the one that's for you. So let's see. Kathy says, 40 years ago, leap year day, I asked Marty to marry me. Oh my God. And you asked him. That's so cute. I love it, Kathy. That's too cute. So you have an anniversary coming up for leap year. So today is called Love on a Daily. Okay, love on a daily basis. And obviously, I mean, it's one thing to talk about loving your children. It's one thing to talk about loving your significant other, that kind of love, loving your pet. Okay. But it's also what we're talking about here is self first, because we forget that in the mix. Even when we say we practice self-love, I care about myself, I do love myself. The question is, how much do you actually do for yourself on a daily basis? You know, and the only way to know is to be aware of it. You know, think about yesterday. What did you do yesterday that showed you that you loved yourself? So put it in the comments. What did you do yesterday that proves that you loved yourself? I'll start with me while people are putting stuff in there. Is that I got outside yesterday. I actually did an in-person networking, like an in-person business networking. I got dressed up. I showed up at the restaurant. It was one of those things where it didn't cost anything to do the networking, but they said, you know, you support the restaurant. You don't have to buy anything, but we would appreciate if you would support the restaurant. And I did. You know, I'm like, I'm going to get a salad. I'm going to support the restaurant. I'm going to tip good. But why? How is that self-love? It's because I needed to be out with people. So I loved myself enough to say, you know what? I'm going to get dressed up. I'm going to just meet these people. I have no idea if it's going to benefit my business at all, but I'm going to do that for myself. It was a beautiful day yesterday. I went outside. I did a few things outside. I spent some time out there. I breathed. I took in the air. I felt the sun on me. That was self-love. I have a to-do list. I got the to-do list done and I'm checking things off, and it felt so good. And so some of you may be saying, well, how is that self-love? Like you're doing like a to-do list. You're checking, you know, you're working. If it makes me happy and joyful, that's self-love. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I see that Gladiator Guru is taking a little bit longer. So I'm just going to go into this and then she'll catch up as we go. So first off, you want to change your mindset. Okay. You Desiree's on. I'm sorry, I didn't scroll down. So good morning, Desiree. Let's see what Gail says. Actually, I went out, took a short walk, and connected with a neighbor. Fabulous, Gail. That's wonderful. How's the weather up in New Hampshire? I know it's probably a little chilly, but if it was clear and brisk, sometimes that's nice. So in order for you to love yourself daily, and we can be dirty, you could love yourself that way too. That's whatever's in your practice. Sometimes you have to, but love yourself on a daily. What can you do to show how much you love yourself on a daily basis? First off, it's a mindset change. Okay. So I have a little list here that I put together. All right. And so just let this sink in for a minute. Okay. So first off, in order to love yourself daily, you have to decide you're worth loving, right? So stop comparing yourself to others. Number one, stop comparing yourself to others. If you're not where you really want to be in your life, or you're not, you thought it'd be different for you, then stay away from paying attention to other people. You're putting that energy out there to other people. So don't do that. Stay in your lane. Okay. And if it means cutting off a little bit, then do so. You know, sometimes that happens where people just, you know, you're in a place where, you know, you're around other parents. Let's say if you have young kids or you're at a meeting, or you're at work and people have a certain lifestyle. Social media does it too. Remove yourself from that. So stop comparing yourself to others. Don't worry about others' opinions. These are nothing new. We talk about this stuff all the time. Other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Don't worry about what other people say. However, do let it sit there though, because there may be some truth to what they're saying, and then you have to make the changes necessary. So that's the other thing, is we always talk about never lying to yourself. Number 3, allow yourself to make mistakes. Allow yourself to make bad choices. You know how I feel about the word mistake, but allow that. It happens. Shit happens. Number 4, remember your value doesn't lie in how your body looks. Okay. Just, it is what it is. We are a product of our past. Our present is a product of our past. And if you don't like what you look like, then decide today that you're going to make a change and what would take necessarily, but be acknowledge and accept where you are at that moment and love yourself. Number 5, I'll go through the list quick, Gladiator Guru, and then you can jump in because we've missed you. Number 5 is don't be afraid to let go of toxic people, even if it's hard. Okay? Number 6 is process your fears. All right. Think about what you're afraid of and really acknowledge them and think how you can go beyond that. Number 7, trust yourself to make good decisions for yourself. All right. Trust in yourself. That's self-love right there. Just saying, I trust in myself. Just know that if you do make a poor decision, you learn from it and then you move on. You're resilient. Number 8, take every opportunity life presents or create your own. And know when you see the opportunity. Recognize it. Number 9, put yourself first. You first. And like Gladiator Guru says, God, then her, whatever's in your practice. But you have to be either number 1 or number 2 on your list.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be behind your children, behind your spouse, behind your parents. You have to be the number 1 or the number 2 point. Number 10, feel pain and joy as fully as you can. Remember, as Gladiator Guru says, emotions come to you to go through you. Pain, there's a message in that, but also acknowledge the joy. Number 11, exercise boldness in public in your own way. You don't have to be crazy and do things totally out of your comfort zone if you're not like that. But exercise some sort of boldness. Number 12, see beauty in the simple things. That's okay. Number 12, see beauty in the simple things. And number 13, be kind to yourself. Go ahead, Gladiator Guru. We missed you.
I like that list. But you did say something because you brought up the weight issue and the body dissatisfaction or do something. And although we're all in agreement, we're women, we don't like to be uncomfortable. But what I've been speaking with a lot of people about that because, my article is about loving your body exactly where it's at. And if you feed your spirit kindness and gratitude and nurture your ego, you'll understand what's priority and what's not. What I've been finding out is because society has this thing, I'll repeat it, everywhere you look, on all social media platforms, on all videos, in all movies, it's all about the thin woman or the curvy woman with the flat stomach and no type of body fat. They're even removing ribs. But what I'm saying is, if you have other issues that you must confront in your life, like self-esteem, like learning how not to be an attention-seeking whore or needing validation outside of yourself, when you have incompleteness of things that you own but have not brought forth, and you're only focusing on the facade of your outside, you're digging yourself into a deeper hole, because once you complete the outside, you're going to search for more outside things to satisfy or to fulfill an incompleteness that is from within. So choose your poisons appropriately. If you know that you're still working on that inner child, see, my best friend and I, like I told you on Tuesday, we go to the playground. Anytime I see a swing, I will go to the swing. That's me and my best friend chilling. And I can be alone or I can be with somebody and they laugh at me. But what I'm saying is when I self-isolated, I healed. And then the body, I didn't do nothing with the body. And that's where it remembers your trauma. So when you love yourself, or when you're taking the steps to learn to love yourself in such a completeness that you're going to say, I know I got that extra 20 pounds, but right now I need to fix this, so that when I decide to do the mind shift and start eating for a lifestyle and not a diet, it's all going to be like second nature. It's going to be like breathing. I'm not there yet. But this is what I've learned from talking to different people about this body shaming that we do, and then we dress it up in different wordings. And it's like, am I happy that I'm an extra large pants? No, because my hips, they're not proportioned right. So here you see this. If you notice, all my tops are always big, but this bitch is hugging my hips. So of course we're all on a journey, but the journey has to be according to you.
Yeah.
Now there's some people who will tell you, oh, I used to be like that. I'm not like that no more. And they're the same person, but they're so gung-ho and working out, going to the gym and doing this to fix the outside because it's camouflaging the ugliness of the inside. The
Yeah.
ugliness for them because they know they're lying. I wouldn't know any different. But you know, that's why you're moody. That's why you get upset when other people do things because you're still reflecting on them and you're deflecting on your issues. So sit with yourself and think about that. You know, if you need to build that courage to stand firm in what it is you need to say and move and or change, then guess what? All of that will come to be. But don't only focus on the body issue to fit in. That's what I was trying to say. It's about health when the badass Buddha talks about it. So I wanted to clarify that it's not a fit in mode. Fuck them. Those things will happen. It's happening for me. It will happen. But I'm going at my pace because I still have a lot of stuff to do. Even the new journey I'm embarking on. You know what I discovered yesterday, mi gente? That I'm kind of fearful. And it's not if I fail, because I always do what I say I'm going to do. It's like, oh my God, what if it goes well and it consumes my life for 2 or 3 years? Like, why should I be thinking about that? If I'm going into something, if I am living my quote, if you can be anything, what would you wear? But there's always that little fucking devil in there, that little demon. And that's my focus.
Yeah.
Nobody has to look at me and my wide hips and my jiggly thighs. I don't give a shit. You're not for me then. But I'm not going to do all this outside work when I still have so many mountains to climb inside. And that's love. That's
Yeah.
you saying, I know I'm fat, but you know what? First, I am a little fucked up. So let me fix this and let me fix this so that I can understand all of this and it won't come back. Or I
Well,
won't.
that's the quote I use actually for my weight loss program is it's not just what you're eating, it's what's eating you. Because if you cannot deal with the inside, the balance between your mind and your spirit, your heart and your body. If you can't balance that, you will never keep the weight off. You just won't. And it's really about, as you heal the inside, the body will reflect, because that's what it is when you look at our bodies, the body reflects what we allowed to happen in our lives over the last X amount of years. It's a reflection, even with aging, yeah, they always talk about premature aging and, but some of it has to do with what's on the inside. The reason we're aging poorly has to do with how we're feeling, and it's reflecting. It's coming out that way. So if you start to change and fall in love with yourself, then you don't worry about how you look on the outside because you're feeling so good on the inside. And what's interesting is the outside actually catches up with it. And that people start to see you differently because we're energetic beings. We release energy, we release vibrational energy, and people see you for the energy that you're releasing. And that's something that, for me was another bitter pill to swallow, because I had to look at myself and say, who do I want to be? And what do I want to reflect? Like, what energy do I want to put off? And it wasn't good. And the people around me that I didn't care for, they were correct in saying the things that they said about me. because that's what I was putting out there, because I was just so angry and so frustrated. And I had to look at that and say, you know what, I'm being exactly what they say that I am. And I don't want to be, because because to me it's a reflection, it's also who they are. But it's a judgment on my part. So I can't worry about them. I have to worry about me and what am I putting out there. And that's why I'm in love with this month. I love that we're reminding ourselves about love, because you have to be reminded. I almost wish that this we could just keep saying it every single month, talking about somewhere, somehow put in love into the mix.
Well, love should be. See, I don't never, and it's always been a problem with my partners, that I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't care about it. I think it's superficial. That's my opinion. The lines at the restaurants are exhausting because I love, and I am a hopeless romantic. And I believe that love should happen when it's happening. I believe that if whomever I'm with is at work and he goes to lunch with somebody's and he's walking back to work, in a store, a pen, what have you, and he thinks of me and he buys me what he knows I am, or how he sees me, because that's how I learn about him, you know. So to me, that's and sometimes when they put it down to one, then guess what? That relationship celebrates you on your birthday, on Mother's Day, you love. Christmas is more becoming for kids' holidays. So you got to decide, do you want to be loved every day that you share with this person, or do you want to be loved on certain holidays? And that's how I've always viewed it. But again, that's just my opinion. Now, Dabara said something earlier, and I shared something with my granddaughter, and I want to share it here. If I can get the hell out of here. And it's something that someone said, and it's something that it's relatable to what the Badass Buddha said. And I'm just gonna play her because she says it so beautiful.
I read something the other day that hit me like a ton of bricks. And if you do not want your mind blown, you can scroll past this. But if you want your mind blown, listen up. The potential that you see in others is not real. It is merely a projection of what you would do if you were them. Let that sink in. It is merely a projection of what you would do if you were them. Most of us are out here simply falling in love with the potential that we see in other people rather than actually falling in love with who they truly are, let alone accepting them for who they truly are. And then when they don't meet our expectations of the potential that we see in them, we're left upset and recognizing that it was a projection all along. Don't be so hard on others. They have to live their own journey. I read something the other day.
Isn't that beautiful?
Love it.
Because it brings you back to you.
Oh my God, I got teary-eyed. It does. And you know what's funny, Gladiator Guru? I think about how I lived majority of my life, even as a child, always seeing the potential in other people and always pushing them to be their best version of themselves, and never really stepping into my own potential. You know, like it's just, wow, that's like mind blowing. That's mind blowing. But you know what? That's also a fear of failure. A fear of success, because you know, like it's what you were talking about too, is like when you were saying I'm thinking, oh my God, if this really works, then what am I going to do for the, you know, like, I have to be doing this for the next 2 years. And that's part of a fear of success. You know, it's like we'll sabotage ourselves. But the reality is that, you know, why? Like, why would we fear? Like, why would we not want to play full out like that? You know, and why for me did I always push everybody else and see their potential? Because I was afraid to be the one stepping up. And what's funny is I don't have a problem stepping up either, but it's almost like I feel like I can't sustain it. So I'd rather have other people do it. And loving self means having to admit that. That's the other thing is self-love means having to be truthful to yourself. It's really facing your vulnerabilities. It's coming to terms with what you do truly know about yourself that you may not even want to admit to anybody else. Not even a therapist. I mean, listen, when you know that you have something within you that you really are very fearful of and very vulnerable, is when you can't even admit it to a professional that does this for a living. But what's interesting, and let me just finish this one thing, and I know you have a lot to say on this. Think about when we go on a plane, why is it that either we or other people we've never met, you're sitting next to a complete stranger, they'll tell you their whole life story, or you'll tell them intimate details of your life, because that moment in time where you feel safe enough to think, I'll never see this person again. I don't care what they know. They will never see me again. So they could leave and you could, like, your most intimate details, but yet we don't do that to ourselves. We don't allow that stuff to express. And so Gladiator Guru is going to say something, but I also have a list of what we actually can do, because that's what we're talking about. Love on a daily is how do we implement self-love on a daily basis? So go ahead, Gladiator Guru.
Sorry, I had a choking fit. Sorry. I believe that my words have just left me. Hola, Milagro, Madeline, Gail. From the listings of stuff that we can have, it's just recognizing. Can you post that? That thing?
Yeah,
sure,
that video.
Desiree.
That's a good idea.
Is the simple things in life. We want to skip the simple things in life, and then just go on to big things that we can see and that others can believe that we're working on ourselves. Because until you really, mi gente, and I say this with love, until you stop. I look like a stop sign today. Until you realize and decide that you don't need to prove anything to anyone, and have built that armor of God, that when they start criticizing you, calling you crazy, careless, thoughtless, because you're walking your path, you're really going to miss the little steps.
Yes.
When I told the story how my brother-in-law one day walks by and says, I want to be just like you when I grow up. And I'm sitting there like saying, what am I doing? Like, I'm even questioning myself. I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, you just don't give a fuck. Or when somebody says, you're always acting like you don't care, like you don't, I'm not acting. But I will only focus my energy on things that I can change. Now, do people annoy me and I want to vent? Absolutely. I think we all do that. I can vent some. And most of the time I'll vent after I've already told the person, what the hell are you doing? Wake up already. Or do you realize what you're doing? Are you noticing the patterns in your life? Or have you identified why you're angry? Maybe it's jealousy of what that person is doing in their lives and you're not doing anything. Woo, right. That caused a big chaos. Anyway, it's the little steps. It's the little steps. And again, it all goes back from here to the other side. An 8-hour trip right to Spain. Spain is calling me. Mi gente de Camino's calling and I'm going. So you go here to there. And you do the little steps, the little questionings of yourself. You know, the reading, like if you're in kindergarten, okay? And this is what I wanted to share. This is my little list. Good morning, Savannah Ray. It's right here. This is the little steps that takes, okay? It says sad has 3 letters, but so does joy. 4 has 4 letters, but so does rise. Curse has 5 letters, but so does bless. Ignore has 6 letters, but so does listen. And what do we do, badass? We
Did you
ignore.
write that? Did you write that?
No.
That's really great too. I love that.
Yep. Enemies has 7 letters.
It sounds like something you would write. Enemy has
Yes,
7 letters.
that's probably why I loved it. Enemies has 7 letters, but so does friends. Immature has 8 letters, but so does maturity. Ignorance, which we all seem to live in bliss in, to pretend, oh, well, I didn't know if I did that, I would get this. Anyway, you know who you are. Has 9 letters, but so does knowledge. Negativity has 10 letters, but so does positivity. So you have 2 realities that you live in.
I love that. You got to post that one too.
It's up to you to decide which one you want to live. And once you make that decision in your life, stop fucking blaming people. It's that serious and it's that simple. Okay? So it's like it's totally off this, but I love it. It says coffee spelled backwards is e-fuck. And then they make a sentence. I don't give a fuck about what you think of me or whatever the thing. But I mean, you play with words, and that's how simple the steps are to fully engage in the workings of miracles that you are. So if you don't believe that you're worthy, then you're going to see all the negative side of that list. And then you're going to project it on other people through jealousy, through envy, through just insecurities, feeling intimidated by them because of why? Because they walked in the room. And that's how simple life is. That's how simple life is. Say it again, badass. That's how simple life is. If you do not play your role, if you do not play your role in your life, you're losing it. And then when you lose it, you want to become a victim. Nobody loves me. No one's ever there for me. I do this for them, and then they don't even say thank you. So why are you doing it? When you have to say that to me, you're only doing it to get instant gratification of someone saying thank you. Try doing it because it is what you want to do in that moment, because it is what your spirit has time to do in that moment. Because if you're supposed to be doing this, but you drop your life to go and fulfill someone else's, and then be so highly upset and wounded because they didn't give you the gratification that the sole purpose of why you went to do something. You have to identify your moments and write them down. That is love. That is taking the time that you would never get back and that will pass you by without you doing anything to learn about yourself. Time is not your friend. Whether it's 5 minutes or 5 hours, 5 days or 5 weeks, 5 months, 5 years, it's not your friend. So you have to seize the moments when it comes to your spirit. And then your spirit will then feed your heart, that will then shift your mind to bloom. But only you can do that. No amount of workshops, podcasts, Badass Buddha, Gladiator Guru, no amount of therapy or life coaches or psychologists is going to feed you like you are.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yes, Gail, that's what happens. So you are your biggest advocate. You're the highest paid, take no shit attorney in the whole United States. You are the high horse sitting Supreme Court judge. You are the king, the queen. I prefer myself a king because a queen is still in the archives below the king. So I'm telling you, when you choose you, it doesn't mean you're going to kick everybody through the curb, because everybody who was in your life have taught you. So you have to come aboard and say, God created me with a purpose. He created me for a purpose. He created me to be so unique that no matter how many copycats I have, no one can ever fully be me. So I must walk in grace and be the best me that I can possibly be. What I've sinned in the past is behind me for a reason. This is who I am now. Stop looking for excuses for you not to bloom into the garden that you were meant to be. And if you do that, oh, but you don't understand. I don't need to understand
That's
because
right.
we're here today, now. So I don't need to understand because we all have a story to tell. And I say this all the time on Viva.
That's the truth.
We all have a story to tell about who did what to whom and how and when and where. All of that. We have all of that. But guess what happens? You reach today. Tell me that story. I don't care
I love
what
that.
street corner you
That story.
what
I
office
love that.
what office corner you worked in. I don't care how many businesses you started. That's what I want to hear. What was the passion, the courage, and the gratitude behind beginning every new venture to reach where you're here today? Because you obviously carry the scars, but you're not living in the womb. And that wounds that have healed, but you keep pulling back the scab every time you tell the story. So of course it's going to hurt again. Of course it's going to stink in your life again. So what are we doing about our lives? Love, love, love. God is love. So of course, love tickles, makes butterflies, feelings in our stomach. It gives us goosebumps. It makes your little man on the boat dance when no one's watching. It does so much because love is powerful. So what is your story when it comes to you?
And
Do you love
you know,
yourself enough? Go ahead.
here's some things that you can do. Like we talked about a lot of things today, and we talked about changing your mindset and being real with yourself. So here's some things that you can actually do, and you can add to this list. I mean, this is just suggestions, and there's so much more, and it was put together quickly. But number one, so I have 19 things. Number one, know thyself. What is it that I want in my life? You have to ask yourself that question. What is it that I want in my life? Maybe you already have a lot of stuff already that you want, and that's okay. And you could say, oh, well, I already have this, which is great. And you'd be grateful for it. So that's where the gratitude piece comes in. But you say, what do I want in my life? And it doesn't have to be tangible things. It could be, I just want to be happy. I want to be joyful every single day. I want to not be angry. There's a lot of personal development that says, oh, don't put the not in there. And I get that because sometimes the universe or God will only hear the not is ignored. You focus, you're putting your energy on the not, but you have to acknowledge the not sometimes to be able to know what it is you want. So if you say, I don't want to be angry anymore, which means that I want to be happy every day. Like I don't want to be angry every day. I want to be happy every day. So what's the opposite? Number two is make a list of things that make you happy and do at least one daily. Number three, make a list of things that don't make you happy and create a plan to eliminate each one either temporarily or permanently. Sometimes you can't eliminate things, like you could say, oh, I hate watching, my grandkids sometimes or something like that. I mean, I love my grandkids, but I can't stand watching them sometimes. But you have to twist that. Say, okay, I don't like doing it, but I kind of, I've allowed myself to do it, and I kind of do want to help. So what can you flip on that too? That's the other thing. You have to identify what it is that you don't like, and then either flip it or eliminate it. Number four is write in a journal. However, buy one of Gladiator Guru's journals and write in it. Write whatever you want. Number five, listen to your favorite music. Number six, watch your favorite movies or shows. Don't go crazy watching stuff. Don't like leave your life and just go and hide, but give yourself that space. Sometimes it's like you had a long day, you did a lot, and you're like, you know what? I just want to plop on the couch and just watch TV for a couple of hours and watch my shows. That's okay. Number 7 is take a walk. Number 8 is exercise or just move. You don't have to do formal exercises. Gladiator Guru mentioned about when she's at a playground, she's going to go play, you know. Then if you don't wait for to bring a child if you want, and there's nobody else at the playground. I mean, just show up and go play. What the hell's the difference? Go with your girl, you know, with your posse, you know, like imagine all these older women showing up and just playing. That would be just phenomenal to see. Number 9 is get out in nature. If that is in your practice, if you're not a nature person, if you're not an outdoor person, but if that is something that you love to do, make sure you do it a little bit every single day. Number 10, take a trip, short, long, day trip. You could be gone for days. It could be by yourself or with one person or with a group. Number 11, redecorate your room. Number 12, clean, declutter, or organize. Some people are like, I hate cleaning. I actually find it very cathartic, especially when I'm decluttering. Number 13, take care of your health. Really honor yourself. What are you putting into your body? And really acknowledge and say, you know what, that makes me feel good because I love eating this and it tastes good. But in the end, it's not good for me. So it's just an instant gratification. The long-term effects are not as good. So be mindful. Not saying you have to cut it out forever necessarily, unless you want to. But
or do it once a week.
That's right. Let's see. Eat healthy foods, drink lots of water. Number 16 is daydream. Number 17, laugh often. Laugh often. 18, smile often. And number 19, sleep. Get sleep.
Sleep. That was a great list. That was really a great list. And you never lie. I love my grandkids. Don't mean I want to watch them all the time. But Savannah is getting ready to go to school. Woohoo! Isn't that great? High five. You're going to school. Yes. And hello to my sister and my cousins that are on. You know, that list was wonderful. And if you can post it, Laura, that would be great. Because they were right to the point. And it's like I read a quote that says, please don't disturb my peace if you are at war with yourself. Ooh. And if you find yourself at war with yourself, read lists like the one that we shared. I will share the one. I got it off Instagram, and the video that I showed is also off Instagram. And I think there's some things that are worthy of sharing and resharing, because it's that message that sometimes that one word in a whole essay that will change our life. So, you know, I meet a lot of people my age that be, oh, I don't like to read. I can't read. It puts me to sleep or whatever. And I'm thinking the joys they're missing out in life, the learning, the vocabulary enhancements, the waking up of the imagination of being there with those characters. You know, it's like we miss so much out of stubbornness and stupidity.
Oh, yeah.
I'm calling it out like it is. When you're stubborn, you're stupid because you're cheating yourself out of a life of many, many, many treasures. Whether they're simple words or a phrase that touches your heart and opens up your mind to receive so many other things. And I think that when we cheat ourselves, we blame other people. We blame our childhood. We blame everybody except ourselves, because in that moment, we chose a wrong objective for our lives. So we're going to go back 25 years and blame it on my mama. And when you recognize that you're doing that, then we start the building of the solid foundation. Because Badass Buddha, when we talk about love, which of course has to be self-love first. People say I shouldn't say that. You can't tell me I can't love somebody unless I love myself. And then I look at them and I want to say something, but then those are the times when I'm like, because how could you love somebody when you haven't walked in love? It's the idea of loving somebody. So love yourself. It's a beautiful thing. You're not never going to get it right. We ain't never going to get it right with ourselves, our partners, our children. We're going to love them too much or not enough. And then they're going to end up entitled little fuckers, or they're going to be mama's kids and never get off the tit into their 30s and don't know how to get a job or their own apartment. Or we're just going to wing it. So love is difficult and it's hard, but it's beautiful and it feels good. And it makes us grow into the person that we want, that we've envisioned. You know, and little words help. Like I love the words of the day, like la lochesia. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. La lochesia. La lochesia. You know what it means? And it just spoke to me. And it said, the emotional relief gained from using abusive or profane language. And I said, that word was written for me and it made me happy. So I think that the list that we gave is very phenomenal. I think that when we at least begin to love ourselves, it doesn't have to be at full capacity, but it has to be felt with the steps that you take. And then one day you take a couple steps and you feel that little, and you do something nice like brush your hair. And the next day you do something else. Remember, it's in the steps. And the Badass Buddha and I are going to create something to talk about the steps, because when we say you got to love yourself, you got to trust yourself, you got to come into yourself, you got to understand yourself. It's like taking leaps, right?
Desiree says, can I add to the list? Let someone do your makeup at the department store just for a change if you use it. Try new perfume samples if you go to the mall. Don't wear any. Let them supply it.
Yes.
That is nice. That's actually nice.
That is really nice.
Oh, yeah. There's so much more that you could do to the list. I mean, if you like massages, you get a massage, get a facial, get your nails done, like anything that makes you feel good. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's a treat, go out and sit by yourself and treat yourself. Like I don't like buying coffees, like fancy coffees that are really fattening, but if you want to do it like one day and then go to go and just say, you know what, that looks kind of good. Like the other day we were out, and I'm not really eating sugar, but we were out and I was with my two kids. And we were right down the street from this really good gelato place, and I had the gelato there months before, so I knew that and I'm like, oh my God, we're right near here. I'm like, okay, well, I'll take the kids. And of course, like I'm in there and I'm going, hey, man, that looks really good. And then the lady's like, you want to try some? I'm like, yes, like this is what I'm saying. And I got some, and I didn't regret it. I just got my.
You sound like you did. You're hesitating. Like
no. When she said originally, she goes, "You ought to try it." But once I got it, and I said to myself, you know what? I'm giving myself permission to take it. I got a small, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Like I'm eating it and I'm tasting it, and I'm saying, because I don't know when I'm going to have another one, and I'm loving it. And of course, I tasted the other two. They got different ones. I'm like, well,
you had to taste it and make sure it wasn't poison. That's what I tell my
kids. Of course, yes, that's the right thing to do as a mom, of course.
But it's so pleasing, you see. And there's nothing you cannot eat. Just eat it in moderation. Eat it proportioned. Because the more you take out of your diet that you love to eat, guess what's going to happen? You're going to crave it like an addict. So I love gelato. Petey said she loves gelato. We found this place in Santiago de Compostela, and it was raining, and we finally walked in from Portugal, and there was gelato, and we had to walk up to the 4th floor penthouse room that we had. And we had gelato on the way up. We had gelato on the way down. And I think the next day too. Look how beautiful.
Hey, listen, if I was out there walking as much as you ladies were, I would have been feasting on gelato every single day. There would have been no question.
Look at Mini Me trying to come on again. She's leaving for school. Go ahead. Go wash your face. Her daddy just did her hair. Isn't that wonderful? I love daddies who are so in tune with their kids. But yes, but I think that was a great story, because you know what? We're gonna run. I was just talking about time yesterday with my sister, and we've had so many deaths just in 2024, and it's only February 8th. There's been death, and I just heard last night that a friend I knew from when I was 14 just died of cancer last night. And you know, and I've shared, and Beatty has shared that she lost her father on Friday, and there was so many in betweens, that not so much close family, but people we knew. And I was talking to my sister last night, and I was like, life is too short to just continue a routine. And if we're not being taught anything right now, I said, my God is letting me know, look at this, look at that, pay attention to this. Why aren't you focused? This is what I'm giving. I gave such a specific prayer of what I wanted. And then I said, Father God, if this is not your will for me, then please guide me on the path that I'm supposed to be on. Because if what I'm asking for is not in the books for me, then I'm okay. I never had it. So it's not like I'm going to miss it. Guide me, direct me to where I'm supposed to give my energy to, so that I can live an abundant life. And to me, an abundant life is the freedom to travel. It's not a big fat bank account. Bye. God bless you. Dios te bendiga. And so, okay. So when we don't live the life that we're supposed to live, through prayer, through meditation, through enlightenment, whatever's your gig, whatever floats your boat. And then we complain because it's not fair. Why does someone else has this? Well, what are you pouring into your life? So when I gave a specific prayer, I asked Father Yahweh, I said, can you give me specific signs? Because I'd be missing them. That's exactly how I talked to him. I said, because I'm sure you've sent me signs before, but they were like incognito. And I just totally missed it because I'm always busy. And I got 4 signs in one day, in less than an hour. 4 signs of where I had to start. From coming out of regular conversations from 2 different people. And then the icing on the cake is when I got lost in a facility, I find somebody because I was asking about a photo shoot. Comes to find out that's the building manager. And it was like a soul tie. So be aware of your life. When you're walking, do it intentionally. Because the love that you are pouring into yourself will be killing off other people who are dry, who are dehydrated, who need stimulation. And that's probably what you are. We talked about you can be many things in life. You can be the love of someone's life by being the man running the lighthouse post. That all you do is give light out, but you're in the shadows. Sometimes our roles as humans in this world is really the spirit that came to do a job. So learn who you are so that you can then walk the path that was set forth for you. Because every time we go off the path and then we see something shiny, what is it, badass? The blue jay? Oh, look at that shiny. Let me take this road. And now you're stuck like Chuck in somebody's cage.
That's me. I'm the blue jay.
Right?
Shiny things.
So love is learning. Love is paying attention. Love is acknowledging that you're doing this and your ass should be on the other side of the spectrum. So you're wasting time and you're killing your inspirations. You're not intrigued to do anything no more. And now you're laying like a fish out of water because I did everything. It's not working because you ain't supposed to be there. Let's move it over. Oh my God, it's after 1. I mean, it's after 9. Listen, mi gente, I'm sorry. But I love love. And I love that the Badass Buddha is so excited for this month of love because one of us has to be. But she really, you see the balloons next to her? Next week, on Tuesday, I'm sure she's going to have
They're not balloons. They're actually, you know those things you sit on and you bounce? Like the kids.
Are you on one now?
No, I'm on a chair, but those, I bought them years ago, like a few years back, and they're adult size. So like one's small for Charlotte, but we would have races through the house, and they're so much fun to bounce on. I actually have to fill them with a little bit more air, but yeah, they're awesome. I highly recommend them to play
Good.
with.
I just want to read something. Desiree, it's okay. It's not sad to report. You're reporting your truth. That's beautiful. Because sometimes we do need those days. And so
You
it's your
acknowledge it.
truth.
That's
But let me
important.
tell you, by you sharing your truth, you just reminded yourself that it is the truth that you're at the moment, but it is not your truth. So yeah, get up. Go wash your ass. Even if you just do that and put your pajamas back on, you seized the day. Trust me. Trust me. It's the baby steps that we will be discussing in a month to come. Those baby steps that we forget and then that we dismiss and don't pay attention to. It is those baby steps that when you look back, you're going to be like, oh my God, that was the best view in my life. And I just running for the end game. So, you know
Well,
what?
so listen, and she said, thank you for giving her grace, and you have to give yourself grace too. That's it. It's fine to get it from other people, but that's part of self-love too, is give yourself grace. And listen, I know you haven't been on, so one of the things that we're doing for this month, I know we have to go, but pick up the book, The Alchemist. That's what we asked everybody to read that book for the month of February, and then on February 29th, leap year, we have a Thursday show. We're going to be talking about leaping into your purpose, and we're going to be discussing The Alchemist and the lessons behind it. And it's such an easy read that you could probably read it twice during the month. So pick up that book, and I think that will. And if you've already read it, Desiree, just read it again, because most of us have read it before too. But I think this is also going to help you push on and move away from where you are right now. So for those of you that came on late, that haven't been on so far for February, and for those of you that have been on, share this. Tell your friends to read The Alchemist, and let's see if we could get a lot of people on February 29th and discuss this, because it is that powerful of a book, and it's such an easy book to read, but it can create such an amazing push in your spirit and soul. So yeah, The Alchemist, it's by Paulo Coelho.
Yes.
All right, so that's it, everybody. Have a nice weekend, and just practice self-love. We'll post all that stuff, and go with it. Start really implementing that for yourself. We're coming up on the Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day doesn't have to be a celebration for other people. Celebrate you. Get yourself something for that day. You can get other people's stuff too, but buy yourself something.
Go get a facial. Go get your manicure, and then they give you massages. Or if you can't afford it because life.
Yeah.
But remember, right before I leave, you said something very important. Do you know? I know many people that incorporate their manicures and pedicures into the household bills, because to them it is not a luxury; it is a necessity, so that their nails and their feet are always done, reminding them of the royalty that they are, reminding them that they are just as important. Their self-care is just as important as the power bill. So just food for thought.
I love that, actually. Thank you for sharing
So
that.
yes, so have a great weekend, mi gente. Think about love, breathe love, share love, because kindness is love.
That's right.
Being grateful is love. So be love. Be the love that you may not feel. Be it for someone else.
So from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.